Hello and welcome to Insights. I'm Elizabeth Omori. I will be flying solo for some time. My colleague Nnamdi Odiko will be back after his official assignment. The quality of election processes political scientists believe can be checked by people's participation. Political processes are pivotal to the quality of a country's governance and can either greatly advance or set back a country's long-term democratic development. Ahead of the 2023 general elections in Nigeria, the European Union Election Observation Mission has met with various political parties to emphasize the need to conduct free, fair and credible elections. To achieve this, observers believe elections should be transparent, inclusive, accountable, and there must be equitable opportunities to compete. The role of election observers is on our plate today. To another issue of concern, women and girls represent half of the world's population. Gender equality, besides a fundamental human right, is essential to achieve peaceful societies with full human potential and sustainable development. Surveys show that empowering women support productivity and economic growth. How do we meet Target 5 of the Sustainable Development Goals, which is on gender equality and empowerment for women and girls? Wait for it. Our guests will provide answers. So, let's get started.
I'm fascinated with the discourse on national monuments and assets and how much is being done to preserve and celebrate
the language issue. We have turned English to become like a pride value in our own cultural value.
It's not cash transfer. It's not a COVID-19.
Invasion 1897 was a deliberate
many of these people coming to the urban areas now.
These and applications, there are terms and conditions.
Of course, it is the union of two people, a man and a woman coming together.
My name is Nnamdi Odiko.
And I'm Elizabeth Omori. In designing and prioritizing support for credible elections, observers take into account the degree to which the host country upholds democratic principles and standards for elections. They also analyze the country's political dynamics and assess key electoral stakeholders' level of commitment and capacities in order to promote electoral integrity. As Nigerians prepare for the 2023 elections, how can credibility play out? My guest, Reverend John Joseph Ayab, Country Director, Global Peace Foundation, will be speaking with us. Reverend, thank you so much for joining us on Insights.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Election campaigns have begun. What have you noticed so far?
Well, as Bradley says, election campaign have begun. What have I noticed? The rhetoric, the lack of use of good language, and even thuggery. On the other hand, there are also efforts by other stakeholders in conscientizing their people, sensitizing the youth, and calling on people of different interests to ensure that the election remains credible and violence-free. So, because there are different roles being played, one can easily say that INEC have actually been putting information out there to the best of her ability that will educate and inform people what is going on. There are times we've seen interruptions or interjections with issues that will raise tension, but INEC within a short time will come out and clarify and say, look, this is what we are doing. I must say kudos to INEC because this time around INEC seems to be doing it right by giving the kind of information people who want to know should know. It all depends whether you are listening to the news or not, but truly speaking, INEC is doing well. And there are groups out there that are making efforts to first call on youths, call on different stakeholders to say, look, it is purely election. It is about just choosing leaders. It is about giving mandate to people to serve and represent us. It's not about destruction of properties. It's not about killing people. It's not about causing any mayhem. So that also role is being played. But from the political class, we can say we are not so happy with the beginning because the kind of language we are hearing, the rhetorics are not good enough, and then this is not what we expect in this time. I think we're supposed to have grown, we're supposed to have learned lessons, we're supposed to have known that violence in election, thuggery during election, destroying properties during election never helps, because we'll still have to use the same state resources to correct them after said and done. So we've started with some good notes. We have also some down note, but this is just the beginning. We are not yet 1 month. Let's see how it's going to go. There's something that Nigerians need to know that is actually playing out now. This is the first time in Nigerian electoral process that we're making efforts to have the campaigns begin much earlier. The fact is that in the previous election, the campaigns will just be about 2 to 3 months and elections are coming. But this time around, we have timetable. That's why I still come back to say kudos to INEC. When you have a child who's doing good, tell him he's doing good. Let him know that you appreciate. For those of us out here, INEC, we are watching, we are following, and we are happy with what you are doing. Yes, there may be some questions out there, but we don't want to become, we didn't have this platform where people will get really informed in the kind of information, whether it's a distorted information, whether it's a true information. But this time around, we see people getting informed. And that's to tell the political class that, wait a minute, the era of thinking that everybody is not watching is over. The era of thinking that people do not know is over. The era of thinking that whatever you say, you can just go scot-free is over. The era of thinking that, after all, it's politics. No, people, there are things that you may just say it as a joke, but people can read meaning to it now. So you have to be careful what you say. You have to be careful how you conduct your politicking. You have to be careful what you even do out there, because people are watching. And for me, I'm really happy that people are really involved. Did you see what happened when there was an extension for registration? Though I blame people for not going out when it was registration of voters started, but at the last minute they came out and then the extension. But the extension, the coming out, show us how much interest people are putting into our political activity, into our political decisions. So that's to tell the political class that it's no longer about you alone. It's about the people now. People want to take this country into their hands, take ownership of the process of choosing who becomes their leader. So if you think you can do things, you've done things in the past and go scot-free, you may not go scot-free. Even if you can, that's why people who are talking now, for us, we just encourage them, be careful, mind your words. Be sure that your words are words that unite, words that build, words that encourage, words that help people to understand. But you also have to know that there are others out there who, for deliberate or mischief reason, we want to twist everything. Instead of wasting your time talking about those mischief, talk to the political class that be careful what you say, so that the mischief people will not even have what it takes to twist your word. So when you speak only things that unite, when you speak only things that build, whoever wants to twist your word will have nothing to twist. I've been to so many communities, and I realize that when you ask people questions, why are they fighting? You realize that those they have actually voted and put them in office come and divide them along either ethnic or religious or whatever form of identity and make them to start fighting among themselves. Now, the simple truth is that people don't want us to question them and ask them to be accountable for this project, for that project, for what they said about education, for what they said about security, for what they said about the economy, for what they say about infrastructure. Since they don't want us to question them, they have to create a situation where we'll be busy shouting at each other's, blaming each other's, accusing each other's, and the time we are wasting talking to each other's or accusing each other's, they have done more havoc. Before we come back, we keep blaming ourselves and we don't even see the havoc that has been done. So in this era, I want to encourage Nigerians that, look, let's play politics as people who understand that government belongs to us. So let's sit as the owners of the country, so that those who want to govern us will come to us and explain to us why we should trust them and give them the mandate. When we allow that happen, then they will start respecting us and knowing what we do. But when we do the politics as politics of abusing ourselves, insulting people and saying terrible things or taking money, then we are actually giving them the picture that we too do not know what we stand for or what is our role. I understand my role and I want to plead with people that the best thing we can do to make our politics credible, to make our politics respectful, is to really know who we are in this movement. We are the ones who give the appointment letter. How can the man who gives the appointment letter become so loose?
Of course not. All right, I understand your explanation quite well. So we need to hold them accountable. And then politicians need to understand that the mandate is the most important thing, not the pulling down.
Of course, you see, the day the politician knows that we are holding him accountable and we only give him a mandate, he will change his attitude.
He will change his attitude.
But when the politician keeps seeing him as the master, the Lord, the honor, then he will not even because he will now play game with our understanding. Because when you come to a community and you see people hailing you even when you've not done anything, then you have nothing to even tell them again. You have nothing to even you already know that they don't even care what you do. They don't even care what you say. Even when you say things that would destroy them, they will clap for you. Or a politician comes to you and is promising you what you know naturally will not be
realistic.
It's not realistic. It's like a politician walking. I wanted to share this story because, but I felt, let me just say that a politician walked into a community and the people told him how there was a situation and they needed to speak to someone in the city to get the problem solved. And he just brought out a phone and dialed as if he had called someone and finished talking. After that, but they said, but we don't have network here. He was claiming he had spoken to someone in the city, but they don't have network. So if a politician will look at a whole community and think he can play that with them, right, you know that there's no network, but you bring out a telephone dialing as if you've called someone in the city. Well, you don't have network in that. So the first thing you're supposed to address is to get them a network. Don't lie to them. So, but are we really watching? Are we really following? That's why I still say we're making good progress. This time around, people are beginning to question certain things. They are questioning words. They are questioning actions.
Let's shift attention to the youth. They are critical actors in electoral process, whether we like it or not. But really, are Nigerian youth truly equipped for governance?
The truth about it is that the Nigerian youth are one of the best youth groups all over the country, or youths all over the nations, all over the world.
Okay.
The situation in their country may have made them look as if they don't belong. The situation in their country may have made them look as if they cannot bring out what they have. But give them that opportunity, you will know who they are. So because of certain mistakes, I don't want to join a group of thinking that the youths are not ready. The youths are ready but waiting for opportunity. Unfortunately, this political system do not give opportunity if you wait. It wants you to force yourself to the opportunity. And not many Nigerian youths are aggressive that they want to force themselves. Even if they're aggressive for certain things, but not for political power. I come from a community or from an identity that has this different notion about politics, about seeking for money. That if you begin to scramble to seek for money, it looks at you as you are worldly. If you scramble to seek for office, it looks at you as if you abandon God or whatever. So I know one of the challenges our youth face in such kind of identity. Sometimes when you speak with them, they're just saying, sir, I don't want to struggle so that people will not see me as if I've abandoned faith or abandoned what is right, abandoned godliness. But notwithstanding, our youth are just wonderful. They have what it takes. What the Nigerian leaders need to do is to give them a space. Give them opportunity. Don't give them opportunity because they are children of a somebody. Don't give them opportunity because they are children of a particular force. Give every Nigerian child opportunity, every Nigerian youth opportunity, and you will see how they will excel. History shows us that great men that served Nigeria when they were young people. People like General Gawan, when he became president, they were young. People like Data Speed, when he became governor, he was a young man. You can go on and on and on and mention names of people who, as young people, show what leadership could be. What has changed? Nothing. The fact that we are better off now because the young men of today are better educated. We may have people who do not get good training. Let's not discard the other ones who are well trained, who are well equipped, because they are there. If we open the space, you will see how they will do it. Have you seen when we advertise Nigerian job, our young boys with their skills, the only thing we knock them out is we ask them they have no experience. Give them space to get the experience and you'll be shocked that they are more than those who have the experience. Someone was sharing with me a few days ago and I love this story. He said they were looking for someone to do some computer work for them. And a young man just walked in and saw them struggling and said, can I offer you a helping hand? One of the boss just saw him and said, hey, wait a minute, what do you know? That we're going to allow you where here computer engineers and you are making... But someone just said, can you allow him? When the young boy just sat on the system, in less than 3 minutes, what they have taken hours trying to do, they can do
fix it.
Do you know how young Nigerians know how to manipulate this telephone, manipulate every gadget you can find, you can think of, give it to your Nigeria? Have you been to some of these telephone villages, whether in Lagos, in Kaduna, in Abuja, to see how our young people can change everything? Their only problem is they don't have the opportunity. And since politics is more about politics, the way it's played here is about money. Everywhere, actually, politics is about money. But you see, how do people raise the money? Not the individual paying. Is it people coming around, supporting, and raise the money? But here is the candidate himself who would dish out the money. If not, our young people would have surprised so many people. That's why I want to challenge young people. Don't allow anybody to instigate you to violence. Work with other young people. If in your community there's an understanding between young people, they can choose one of them, support him in any political party, and he will become a leader. And then he will go and show example. But you see, things have really not been going well because of certain factors. That do not mean that our young men are not ready. A good number of them are ready, just waiting for the opportunity. Give them, and you will be surprised that they will exploit.
All right, Reverend Ayab, I need a direct answer from you. Do we really have the platform? Yes or no?
We do. Honestly, you see, unless people get to understand that you don't need this one before you become this. We can organize, we can strategize, and use other platforms to get it. Apart from that, there are so many organizations working with youth in Nigeria, and go and see what they are doing. Whether in the area of economic empowerment, in the area of skill acquisition, name it. You will see how they...
This is the network service of the NTA. We now join our outside broadcast crew for a live telecast. Please stay tuned.
Remain standing for the national prayer. O God of creation, guide our leaders right, help our youths truth in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice reign. You may be seated. The special guest of honor, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Chairman of the occasion, former President, His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, governors here present, and I do see the Governor of Borno State, and I shall continue to update you as we go along. Our chief host, the Governor of Kano State, His Excellency Dr. Umaru Ganduje, and his lovely wife, Dr. Ganduje. Representative of the former Vice President Namadi Sambo, ministers here present, captains of industry, the representative of Alhaji Aliko Dangote, the representative of Alhaji Indimi, the Emir of Kano, His Royal Highness Alhaji Aminu Adobayero, Emirs of Gaya, Emir of Bichi, other emirs here present, Emir of Rano, heads of government and extra-ministerial departments, our book reviewer, the essential Professor Atahiru Jega, former INEC chair, presidential aspirants here present, vice presidential aspirants here present, members of the diplomatic corps here present, members of international organizations, members of the academia from where Dr. Umaru Ganduje came out of to become governor, my lords spiritual and temporal, chairman of the launching committee and deputy governor of Kano State, His Excellency Dr. Nasir Yusuf Gauna, family, friends, political associates, believers, stakeholders, lifelong learners, members of the fourth estate of the realm, ladies and gentlemen. And may I add that there are no chief launchers at this occasion. We are all launchers in our own right. I welcome you all. It's that time of the day when we feel pretty special to be at the launch of a solid intellectual book. This new book is as good as they come, and I have read snippets. Welcome to the public presentation and launch of such a book whose time has come. Written by a man who is at once an intellectual and also a politician, in a time of urgency for knowledge in Nigeria. This is the definitive book for learning the ropes of leadership and the hierarchical dynamics that come with being a deputy in the complex political waters of Nigeria. I welcome you to the launch of a book that is for academics, politicians, students, and aspiring leaders. Deputizing and Governance in Nigeria. A book written by an academic and a politician. A book about a knotty area which is hardly discussed. A book of incredible and worthy lessons. For a book lover like mine, and for an author like me, this is really an exciting book. Welcome. My name is Eugenia Abu. I'm a multimedia strategy expert, a writer, broadcaster, and a columnist. It's time now for me to invite the Deputy Governor of Kano State and Chairman, Launching Committee, His Excellency Dr. Nasir Yusuf Gawuna, to deliver his welcome address. Your Excellency.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على نبي الكريم. Your Excellency, the special guest of honor, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, GCON, the chairman of the occasion and former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, GCFR,